Happy Christmas and a happy new year to Bristol Rovers fans everywhere. I'm delighted to be joined today by Chairman and owner Hussain AlSaeed. Hussain, thank you for joining us. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you and to all the fans out there. And I'm happy to be today with you or to answer their questions.
As we get into today's Q&A with the questions from supporters, before we begin, why is this the right time to update the fans?
Well, I think because of the major developments that we have, and we wanted to update, but not in a way of statement, because we thought to give a chance to the fans to ask questions, what's in their mind, so we can really satisfy their questions and try to be as transparent as possible with their inquiries.
So we've had 400 questions in from supporters since we put out our requested questions on Christmas Eve. Thank you to all gasheads who sent their questions in. Hussain, one of the biggest topics was around the sporting side and the sporting structure and things that have gone on the football side in the previous 6 months or so. Question asked by Harry Jenkins, Tom Hutchings, Joe Jarrett, Harry Cole. Why do you think Darryl Clarke did not work out at Bristol Rovers this second time round?
Well, this takes us back to the summer of this year, where actually we're looking for somebody who can actually build a team to go forward, and we thought DC ticked all the boxes, so we were happy to have him back in house. I think everybody was excited, everybody was enthusiastic about what he will do. We backed him up in the summer transfer window, and we brought 14 players exactly, and we released 16 players. After that, also after the window closed, we also added up 2 more players, so in total 16 players. I think everybody wants Darryl to succeed, whether the board, the fans. But for some reason or another, this is football, and it did not work out for him. And unfortunately, we gave him enough time, and maybe more than enough, would people say to me, that we have gone 10 games losses, and that would have been, in any normal circumstances, will be too much. However, for a person like Darryl Clarke, he deserved more time, and I'd rather be, accused of giving him more time than really cutting him short. He's still a legend for the club. He is a good friend, and we wish him all the best. And it's unfortunate that it did not work a second time around with us. Having said that, we have moved quickly to get another person, which by appointing Steve Evans, we thought this is the right person. We needed somebody with a lot of experience in EFL, League One, League Two, somebody with big and influential character, charisma, and knowing what he wants. And from the first meeting that we had with him, we knew that could be he is the right man for the rest of the season. Now, of course, coming in 2 weeks before the window, I think that would give him enough time to evaluate what he has, the squad he has, and how much he will add in the winter transfer window. And we will support him throughout, and we already had a couple of meetings about this subject, and he is working very hard with Ricky at the moment to identify the players, the positions they're looking for, and we will be with them all the way. And we feel that Steve will do the job, will get the job done, and get the team back where it is, where it was, an even better position. And certainly we are not happy at all of where we at. This club deserves much better, and we will make sure that we do all what we can to help the club go forward.
I can hear in your voice saying how much it hurts you that Bristol Rovers is currently 90th in the Football League, not at the right end of the League Two table. I can hear in your voice, and we've spoken about it before, it is a business, but it also hurts you personally, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very much saddened by the situation, and especially that we have put in effort, we have put the budget. We are, one of the highest budget among the top 3, 4 in the league. We shouldn't be here at all. So I think that is something that we learned, unfortunately, in football is 1 + 1 is not really 2. And sometimes even if you spend more money, does not guarantee success. But what it does, and hopefully that we will have increased the probability of success. And that's what we are looking to do. And that's what we're going to keep doing and trying until we get this right.
You mentioned about how quickly Steve came into the role following Daryl's departure. Is that part of why you have opted for this head coach and director of football model as opposed to a more traditional first team manager route, as per one of the questions we've had through?
Absolutely. And this is something that we anticipated. And as we all know, that the average of EFL managers throughout the history is just a little bit over a year. So it will happen to all the clubs, but the structure has to be that if you change the manager, it will be easy transition and the club won't be affected. So this is what the setup we did, and it worked very well when Darrell Clarke left and Steve joined. So we're happy that we did not really lose a lot of time into that process.
Final question on the football side for you, Hussain. Many fans are desperate to know, will Ricky be backed in the January transfer window in terms of improving the squad and getting out of trouble?
Absolutely. This is something that we talked about. We had a couple of meetings with Steve and Ricky. And, this is something agreed. They're working on identifying what players they need, what position they need, and we'll back them up definitely this January.
And just to touch on the point you made there, Hussain, what is that process in terms of identifying and recruiting new players and then incorporating them into the first team squad?
Well, actually, what we have done and what we have set up is a football director of football, which is Ricky Martin. Ricky Martin has over 20 years of experience in football, plus now with Steve Evans, I think both combined have over 50 years. So this is what we're looking for, is we get the expert in the in-house, and plus give them the enough support that they need in order to achieve their goals. So that's the kind of environment we want to create in the club.
Hussain, as we move on to our next topic, we're moving on to the biggest topic the fans wanted to hear from you about. We had questions from Joseph Rodway, David Belstein, John Sands, Colin George, Eddie Cotteridge, plus many, many others. And thank you so much for your questions. The biggest topic that's come up from this question and answer session is, can you please provide us an update on the development of the Memorial Stadium and the quarters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the infrastructure of the club, that is really the two files. I'm really taking it very seriously, and I have spoken about that and our intention, and we always have said that this club deserves a better infrastructure, a better stadium all the way, and it's something that when we joined, we were under the impression that there would be a stadium in the fruit market, and that of course did not happen. So the first thing we looked after that is the redevelopment of the memorial. Now, since we've spoke, which is the last year and a half, about this subject, we have done all sort of studies. The traffic control, the model, the transport modeling, all that needed for really expanding the memorial. And unfortunately, as we have got those report back, all with red flag in what we're trying to do or what we are trying to achieve. Now, the main thing that we are looking for is really making the stadium very comforting and inviting for the families and children. And with the limitation that we have in terms of size, in terms of the EFL rules and regulation of the concourse behind the stands, made it again extremely difficult to try to keep, for example, the parking lot that we have into basically, if we need to do those stands, we will have to take about 3/4 of the parking, which would leave us again with the only small number of cars. So that does not really help the club much. So in all that studies that we have done in the last year and a half, and I think we spent almost 420,000 to be exact, on the architect design, on the consultancy, onto the study, onto the surveyors, all that came, a lot of it came with red flag of what we're trying to accomplish in terms of increasing the capacity of the memorial and make it more comfortable for the fans, for the families, basically. So what we are looking at now is that if there is any other way to try to make it, a better stadium than what we have, is it worth that the money we're going to spend to make that improvement? Would that be good enough for the club? All of that questions, and I think we're facing with. We are really taking careful study and consultation. A move like this, it has to be well studied, and we want really the best. So does that mean we have given up on this redevelopment? No, we are still exploring. We are still consulting with expert if those things can be avoided and achieved with this current situation. However, we've also looking at other options. I think it goes without saying, for me, is the most important things is to get a good size stadium for this club. So whether it's in the Memorial or anywhere else, but that is the main goal that we are looking for. So this is where we at, and maybe not final decision yet, but I think the fans wanted to have an update, and this is where the situation is at the moment. As for the quarters, I think the plans has been submitted. We had a meeting with the council. I think things are moving well. However, now we have taken, since we have submitted the plans, we have taken the women team also, and that also requires additional infrastructure plus the academy in order to promote our academy and take it from category 3 to 2. We need that facility needed. So all that put also additional pressure on the design, whether to expand on the existing design or to also add another facility to the quarter. I think what we are looking for is that we're looking to have proper infrastructure for long term and would allow us to expand. As for the first team, of course, the current training ground, I think would be among one of the best in League 2 and League 1 in terms of facility for the first team. But that's not our goal only. Our goal was to add all those other activity of the club, the academy, the women's team, and plus, of course, the women teams. If we get promoted into the next level, we require to actually create academy for the women's team, and that's also give additional pressure into having a space to expand in the quarter. So having all that done, we're continuous meeting with the council to really get this across, and we're expecting something on that neighbor of this dialogue within the summer. However, I might add that all the studies and the consultation is ongoing from ecology, from transportation, that is ongoing, and we have spent and invested money into that category. So this is where we at on the quarters.
Just for absolute clarity, Hussain, because we covered a lot of information in that answer, the club is looking at developing the MEM, but is also exploring other options for future stadium development if required. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I promise the fans that once we are clear into which direction we will go, we will update them and give them. But I am very careful when it comes to the stadium. I want to make sure that the information I give out is the thing that what is going on, rather than giving them a hope where we can later on say it's not possible. But again, it's not only our decision. There's other people. There is consultants, studies that also determine the decision.
Has it proved to be a tougher process than you thought it would be?
Extremely. I mean, we come from background of really much easier, surrounding in terms of authority, in terms of approvals. And what I have faced is something that is totally opposite of that. Things takes time, and things takes a lot of effort, studies, a lot of cost to get into this situation. So yes, I am surprised with that, but this is the rules here, and we'll have to follow it.
Hussain, thank you for your detailed response to those questions regarding the stadium. I'm sure you can appreciate fans are desperate for news about the redevelopment as and when it's available, whether that's the stadium or the training ground. Are you able to commit to providing those updates and news as and when they're available?
Yes, absolutely. I think we will keep them updated on the situation or where we at in terms of the redevelopment, the studies, the challenges that we are facing, and we'll update them until we get into a final decision. But yes, I mean, they have the right to know, and we have the duty to deliver that to them.
Hussain, for our next topic, we've had quite a few questions from supporters. Laura Makepeace, Craig Smith, Mark Phelps, William Smith, Jess Houghton, asking about communication, specifically communication from yourself. Why is this the first time we've heard from you since the summer, and what is the plan for communicating with fans moving forward?
Well, I mean, we actually discussed this matter, and with the current structure that we have, Richie is in constant talk and discussion with the consultation group of the fans, as well as the supporters club. All that feeding of information. Now, I get it that maybe the fans would like to hear from me more often. However, I must say that Richie and Ricky, they're all aware of all the details that we have when we share it with them. There is nothing that we are doing that the executive people in the club, they're not aware of. So what you hear from Richie is actually what is going on. And this is just delivering that information. Same with Ricky, which we believe that he will also be coming out regularly now to update the fans in the after the windows, and also at the end of the season before the next windows, of what is the plan and what he will do. And believe me, Ricky will come out and say what is going on exactly in terms of how the board communicate with them, and what is the going forward, the way it was going forward. So Richie and Ricky have all the information that is the fans looking for. But yes, I will, on the demand of the fans, to get more communication, and that's they will get. But believe me, they have all the information that they're looking for, and I think they could answer many of their questions that they have in mind.
Doing forums like this, Hussain, questions from the fans that we bring to yourself, feels like a really strong way of our supporters hearing directly from you as our owner and chairman. Is that something you'd be happy or eager to do more regularly as time proceeds?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is the first time we do that, but I think we may have this regular basis. It is really, I found out it's good because it gives us an idea of what the fans thinking and what's in their mind, and we can really answer their question rather than we giving out statement and perhaps missing some of the points that they have. And there is nothing called silly questions. It's all important questions, and we will hopefully going to get all those answers as the way that the fans want it to be.
On that point, Hussain, a few fans have also asked about potential interviews with media outlets, external media such as BBC Radio Bristol, having a gas. Are those ideas that you would be open to looking at as well?
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea, and we will consider that in the future.
As we move forward, Hussain, another topic was about the direction the club has been on. Matt Bedsey, Josh Phillips, Matthew Smith, one of many fans asking about decisions that have been made in recent years since you took over the club. There have obviously been criticisms of some of those decisions. Do you accept that some mistakes have been made, and have you learned from those?
Of course, if you are working and you're doing all that job, of course you make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, and but the question is that have you learned from this? Yes, we have. Will you repeat the same mistake? No. Will you make another mistake? I think yes. All that, I think, is a continuous process for any work environment. And the main thing is that we get the right people in-house, give them the enough support to succeed. And that's what we're looking for, whether it's in the sports side or on the admin side. They're both important, but I get it. It's the 90 minutes. The pitch is really determine how this club is doing. Even though we have spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money to really fix the other side of the budget, the admin. But again, people don't see that, but they see the result, and we understand that, and we are working very hard to fix that side as well. So yes, we acknowledge that.
Something I'm taking from your answers, Hussain, is how hard it actually is to run and own a football club. Do you have any regrets at all?
Well, in any business, in any matter of life, you have the moment where you regret doing something. But what you do is that you think about it, you pause, and you keep going. And for me, with my experience in business, I am not a quitter, and I don't really shy from any problems. What I look at it is that every time problems face me, we will make it as a challenge. And that challenge, we transform it into opportunity, and we take it from there. So we will still continue to try and work very hard to get this club going and working in the right direction. So the question is, do I, at the end of the day, regret buying Bristol Rovers? Absolutely not. I think working with the fans, working with this club, it became part of my life. And I become really part of it as well, and we cannot be separated. So this club is mean a lot to me, and I'm continue to support and continue to work very hard to get this club functioning in the right direction.
This question is from Steve Britton. He's not the only fan to ask this one. Could you please clarify the accusations made towards your son, Abdulatif AlSaeed, in regard to his input on the playing squad and the team that goes out on the pitch?
Well, I've heard that rumors, and I've heard that, the fans got to that information, but I can assure you that is not true. Abdulatif does not pick the team, and no manager accept that. This is false. Abdulatif's role is strategic for the club. in terms of being sort of the person between the board and the manager. He makes sure that the manager has all the tools and all what he needs day to day in order to do the job. But that's why we hired Ricky with 30 years, over 20 years of experience, and Steve, and plus all their assistant. So those are the ones who determine or decided which players that they need for the squad.
One of the other questions comes from Leroy, Ash, Freddie, Joe, Jason. Thank you for your question. A lot of rumours are saying that you may be seeking further investment into Bristol Rovers or could even consider selling the club. Are you able to comment on those?
No, that's not true at all. I'm happy to run the football, Bristol Rovers since last October. I have become 100% owner, which I think the agreement with Wael was supposed to expire on or to actually conclude in June 26, but we have expedite that because the need of the cash injection and the further investment that needed. Maybe we go for the last year budget that is required, and this is what made it conclude sooner. I don't have any intention to selling the club. As far as partners concerned, if we have legitimate or an expert that will come and join us, of course we welcome that, but we're not seeking an investor at the moment.
Because I think it's important to clarify, Hussain, when you took over Bristol Rovers in 2023, you didn't initially do so with the intent of being the sole owner, did you?
No. The idea was that I am a majority shareholder and Wael would be with me as a partner. But as you know, and the fans know, that last October, Wael, for his own reason, could not continue funding the club. So we had only a short period of time to fund the club. Otherwise, we will be in default in terms of the salaries, in terms of our commitment to the suppliers. So I had to very quickly step in to make sure that the club will not be affected by this concerns. So now, as this is over, this task is over, I'm very much in control of what we are spending in terms of the budget, in terms of the sporting budget, and we have showed that our commitment to this club very clearly in the last 2 years of what we're spending, and we have the highest or among the top 4 budget in League 2, and that will continue to be so until we move on or we move forward. So in terms of getting over the ownership issue, I think we will over it, and we'll continue to plan ahead.
Shane asks about a story of a potential takeover of Bristol Rovers from a Dutch group. Are you able to offer any insight or comment on that story?
Well, I don't know if we can call it story. It was an inquiry done by a Dutch broker who talked about bringing an investor, not him, but bringing an investor, and that investor will bring Dutch players, legend, to the club. Now, the funny thing about this proposal is that he was seeking 25% of the club. However, he would like us to fund the club for the next 3 years, and he will manage the club. So it does not make any sense in any business model. I will not fund someone else who I don't know what will do in this situation. And of course, I did not accept it. Now, I believe the same scenario have gone into other clubs and got rejected as well, because it does not make any sense.
Recently, Hussain, the club put out our financial statement for the year, and one of the questions we've had comes from Oliver. As evidenced by the latest accounts, running a football club is a very expensive business. How will the club improve financially in the coming years to stop losing money?
Well, we can't say that we will eventually stop losing money at all. However, we can make a big reduction, and this is what we did last year. If you can see that we have, registered a big loss for the club, but that's really a thing that was done in order to ease the future budget. We have made a lot of changes, into the club. The club was depending on a lot of outsourcing and a lot of leasing equipment, leasing cars, leasing even gym equipment were leased. So that is very expensive process, and the way to do it is really going forward was to purchase, and that's what we've done. We have brought the financial outsourcing into our club. So we've taken these contracts away, which was costing us a lot of money. So we have now in-house for the finance, we have it for the media, we have it for the commercial side. We did not have existing a commercial, and now we have a department of commercial people who are seeking all that to help improve the revenue of the club and at the same time cut the expenses. Retail shop, we have improved the retail shop. Before it was outsources. So all that work has been done last year in order to improve the budget going forward. And I can tell you, even though we are in the middle of the year, but we are looking at 40 to 50% reduction from last year budget. However, we're still maintaining the top 3 or top 4 budget in League 2. So the sporting budget has not been affected, but it is the unnecessary spending on the other side that was really controlled. So this is what we'll be looking for, is this club to be in a position to sustain itself with the minimal losses so that it can progress without really depending a lot of the owner paying that much money every year. So this is what was our goal, and that's why you see big amount of last year, and you will see next year that it's reduced by over 50%. On top of that as well, or part of it, is the loan that we have for the South Stand, and that will be finished completely this coming May. So the club will be debt free. So all that add to really strengthening the financial position of the club. So this is regarding why do we have big losses last year.
Hussain, the next question is more of a statement from David Pegler, and he says, I'd like to congratulate the social media team. It's a joy to see their regular posts. Personally, for me and my department, that's a huge praise, so thank you, David. But I'd like to ask on that, how proud are you of the operational side for the work and progress made in the last couple of years?
Very much proud, and that's something perhaps the fans don't see on a regular basis, or don't see the hard work that is done behind the scenes. But I'm very much proud of all the people or the department that we have really had hired the right people for it. Whether it's the media, whether it's the HR or the finance or the operation. So in all those departments, we have really a good team that working very hard behind the scenes. So yeah, for example, we've improved all the function that is required by the EFL, of course, including the safeguarding, and we have improved a lot and been recognized by the EFL of really one of the best into that area. So the work is ongoing for all the functions behind the scene. But at the end of the day, we always say that is the 90 minutes that determine this progress of this club. But this is to assure the fans we're working on both at the same time.
Next question comes from Youssef and Steve. Thank you for your question. What roles do Khalid and AlSaeed serve on the board of directors and in the running of the club?
Well, they both have expert in the finance area. Khalid is ex-PwC, and he really helped us in the transformation from the outsourcing of the finance into the in-house. And he did an excellent job of restructuring of finance and the relationship with the bank. So they both contribute to this department a lot.
With that in mind as well, Hussain, are you able to offer any insight into how the leadership structure at the club works and how that feeds into yourself?
Well, I mean, we set, as a board, we set a budget for all the departments, and that's after discussion with their requirements for the year after. And of course, we let them do their work, and we make sure that within that, the target we put for each one of them. And this actually what we give them the freedom to work day-to-day operation. So the board does not intervene in their work. However, it's just set that strategy, overall strategy, and follow up into that strategy. That's how we look to run the club.
Thank you, Ashley, for your question. You say that the club is running the risk of losing generations of younger supporters. What is the club doing to bring in new support among younger individuals?
Well, I mean, that's very important issue. And I think, Richie has taken this subject very seriously. And we have looked at this in terms of the ticketing first, for example. And the ticketing, we have structured that under 7 will come in free. And we have also accommodate many functions in the memorial to help attract young kids to our games and to be part of our games, whether it's the pirate duck or any other function that we have made it for inviting for the families.
A few fans are saying they're asking about the club's plans and your vision and long-term strategy. What is your vision and long-term strategy for the club, and how has that been affected by relegation this year?
Well, I mean, the long-term vision has not changed. I think we still continue to look at two things, two sides. First of all, we have the infrastructure of the club, and we are taking it very seriously. That's what we want to improve. That is the long term. Of course, the main current situation we have is the sports side. And that's where we also looking at to improve by bringing, experts like, the first team manager, Steve Evans, to really do the work needed for the rest of this season, plus taking it forward. So absolutely, it's to improve in the sporting sides, plus the infrastructure of the club. Those are the two main elements that we're looking at.
As we near an end here, Hussain, I've got a few more quick-fire questions from fans who I think we should get their questions answered if we have the time. First one from Craig. As an Army veteran, what support can Bristol Rovers offer in terms of discounted tickets or admission?
I think that's important to us, but we work with the group that facilitate the veterans admission. I think we offer 15 tickets to them, and I think they can coordinate that. But absolutely, it's important to us that the veterans get the right treatment in our memorial stadium.
That's the Tickets for Troops group. So yeah, any veterans should contact them.
Yes, absolutely.
Dale Gregor asks about the boxes at the Memorial Stadium. He says, I've been a box holder for 15 years, and this season there was a price increase of around 20%, which saw some local businesses not renew. How will you reflect on that?
No, actually, we did not have increase of prices. What we did is actually sort of make the prices equal, as we had people paying 20% less for some reason and the others paying 20% higher. So we made them even all together, and this is to be fair for everyone and every box holder. So it's not really an increase, but more or less making all the prices the same.
We have a couple of quick fire questions, Hussain. Peter would like to know, do you believe you should put clotted cream or jam on a scone first?
Cream only, no jam, please. Yeah.
John asks, what's your favourite colour?
It used to be yellow, but now is blue and white.
As shown by the scarf you're wearing today.
Exactly, that's it.
And as we finish up here, Hussain, my last question for you is one that a lot of fans have again asked, and it's about ambition. What is your ambition for Bristol Rovers Football Club?
Big ambition, but I have to say that it is not easy to really go on and say, well, I want to do this, and you can do it in a year or two. This is something that it's going to take time, but with the fans' support, with everybody together, I think we can really accomplish of what we wanted to do. And for this club deserve a better position than we are now in, and we're not happy about what we have at the moment. However, we're gonna keep working hard to really make that progress needed, and would also like to thank the fans for continuing, their continuing support, and with them we will accomplish what we have set for.
Hussain, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for your questions, and a very happy new year to you.
Thank you, and happy new year to you, all the staff and all the fans, and we will, as we said earlier, continue communication with the fans in order to put them into the latest update that we have. Thank you.
Thank you.